Good morning. Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hobart, where we strive to put love in the center of how we show up in the world. I'm Carla Banks, your worship associate this morning. We welcome you, old friends and new, young and old. You are an essential part of our celebration today. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday in our midst, we are stronger because you are with us. We are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcome here. Our minister, Kathy Harrington, is not able to be with us today. She is recovering at home and awaiting a medical procedure, all of which she explains in this week's Spark. This week's service will be led by our own Sandi Waters. Since not everyone can attend in person, we are streaming this worship service online, and we extend a special welcome to all who are joining us virtually. Another way we walk together is by joining together for fun and fellowship. In the interest of time, if you have an announcement to share, send it in email to Ashley in the office by Wednesday afternoon. Look for our weekly Spark and for more announcements. And if you don't receive the Spark but wish to do so, please fill out a visitor form in the parish hall. I have an announcement. First Unitarian will host its 4th annual Trivia Night fundraiser on May 9th. Doors open at 5:30. Trivia will start at 6:30. Light appetizers and popcorn will be available. Candy soda and mocktails will be available for purchase. You are also welcome to BYOB. The winning team will split a portion of the door money and, of course, get bragging rights. Tickets are $25 each, but only $20 if you bring a gift. Well, your guest is a gift, so yes, bring a guest from outside the church. A sign-up sheet is available in the parish hall for teams of up to 6 people. For more information, see Michelle Farrell. Right back there. Please take a moment to greet your neighbors. Oh, yes. Stop greeting. We will return. Pete.
Good morning, friends. My name is Pete O'Day. Faith in Action voted to show support for the oil workers who were locked out at the refinery in Whiting. I went by the Union Hall the other day and talked to them. Lots of people going around. They're really actively trying to get the public on their side. They told me that they're stand to lose with the last offer that they were offered from the oil company. They would lose basically 85 years worth of bargaining rights. So FIA voted to support them, but I was remiss in not, if you notice, if you walked in for the front door, you notice a sign that says Solidarity with the United Steelworkers, which represents the oil workers. The policy of this church is that we don't post signs on the church property without announcing it twice to the congregation to seek and find out if there's any objection. So I was remiss in not doing that. What I'd like to do is tell you that FIA would like to post the support for the oil workers in their lockout struggle on church property. And if anybody has an objection, please come see me or Michelle Farrell, the president of the congregation, and let us know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete.
Well, back to greeting your neighbor. Say hello to someone you don't know. Good. Please turn off or silence your devices. And as you do so, allow yourself to enter into sacred time. Take a deep breath. And another. And join in the spirit of reverence. Each week, during our Sunday morning worship service, we join together in reciting the words of our affirmation of faith, the words for which are printed in your order of service and on the screen. They're in your order of service. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. Service is its prayer, and this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
The flaming chalice is a symbol of Unitarian universalism. It suggests the transformation takes place when we are held within religious community. We light the chalice in worship. We illuminate a world that we feel called upon to serve with love and a sense of justice. Please join in lighting our chalice by reading together the words on the screen or in your order of service. We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest of wisdom and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Or in my case,
Please rise and body your spirit to join in singing the doxology, the words for which are in your order of service or on the screen right there.
Every tongue
invocation is words written by Abraham Joshua Heschel. Over and above personal problems, there is an objective challenge to overcome inequity, injustice, helplessness, suffering, carelessness, oppression. Over and above the din of desires, there is a calling, a demanding, a waiting, an expectation. There is a question that follows me wherever I turn. What is expected of me? What is demanded of me? What we encounter is not only flowers and stars, mountains and walls. Over and above all things is a sublime expectation, a waiting for. With every child born, a new expectation enters the world. This is the most important experience in the life of every human being. Something is asked of me. Every human being has had a moment in which he sensed a mysterious waiting for him or her. Meaning is found in responding to the demand. Meaning is found in sensing the demand. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 346. Come sing a song with me. It's in your gray hymnal, and the words will be on the screen. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, and I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. And today's story for all ages is The Rabbit Listened by Corey Dorfeld. One day, Taylor decided to build something new, something special, something absolutely amazing. Taylor was so proud. But then, out of nowhere, things came crashing down. The chicken was the first to notice. Cluck, cluck, what a shame. I'm so sorry this happened. Let's talk about it, cluck, cluck. But Taylor didn't feel like talking, so the chicken left. Next came the bear. Grrr, how horrible. I bet you feel so angry. Let's shout about it. Grrr. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting, so the bear left. The elephant knew just what to do. Trumpet-ah, I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering, so the elephant just left. One by one they came. The hyena, let's laugh about it. The ostrich, gulp, let's hide and pretend nothing happened. The kangaroo, tisk, tisk, what a mess, let's throw it all away. And the snake, let's go knock down someone else's. But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually, they all left until Taylor was all alone. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit, but it moved closer and closer until Taylor could feel its warm body. Together, they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please stay with me." The rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. The rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to hide, to throw everything away, to ruin things for someone else. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when the time was right, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plan to build again. "I can't wait," Taylor said. "It's going to be amazing." And it was.
Each week, we share a portion of our Sunday offering with a social justice cause. I'm sorry this is outside, but it's inside our church walls. This month, we are sharing our loose change collection with Lasagna Love. And I think Michelle deserves so much credit for all that work. Donations in the basket will go to sustaining the mission of our congregation, and the donations in the cup will go to Lasagna Love. For those not with us in person today, there is an online link for both one-time and regular donations. Would 4 volunteers please come forward?
In the center of our service and in the center of our lives, let us pause to honor the silences of the world. Let us open our hearts to the place of quiet, the silent prayer for the healing of pain, and the soft, gentle coming of love. Let us pause for a moment of silence. You are now invited to light a candle of memory or hope, or just sit quietly as the music holds you in a meditative space. Now let us take a moment to fill this sacred space with the names of the loved ones we hold close in our hearts this morning, some suffering in sorrow, some celebrating in joy. Kathy. Becky. The breath of nature is upon us. The spirit of life is within us, and the community of love is all around us. So be it. Amen. Joys and sorrows are a time to share personal joys that you are celebrating so that we can celebrate with you as a community. It's also a time to share personal sorrows that weigh on our hearts so that we can support one another in our times of sorrow or grief. Please keep in mind that this part of the service excludes our online members, friends, and visitors. Roz will come around the room with the microphone, and we ask that you first share your name. on the screen, and the music is in your order of service.
I believe in the power of giving. I believe in the power of change. I believe in the power of differences. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Second verse. I believe in the power of justice. I believe in the power of fairness. I believe in the web of life. I believe in love. Chorus. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Let's do the chorus again. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love.
The Book of Ruth and Naomi. When you pick up the Torah and read the book of Ruth, it is a shock how little it resembles memory. It's concerned with inheritance, lands, men's names, how women must wiggle and wobble to live. Yet women have kept it dear for a woman who put another woman first, for how the beloved elder cherished Ruth, more friend than daughter. Daughters leave. Ruth brought even the baby she made with Boaz home as a gift. Where you go, I will go too. Where you live, there I will live with you. Your people shall be my people, and this God of yours I will praise. For what is yours I will love, as I love you, O Naomi, my mother, my sister, my heart. Show me a woman who is not starved for such love. Show me a woman who does not dream a double, a heart's twin, a sister of the mind, in whose ear she can whisper, whose hair she can braid as her life twists in pleasure and pain and shame. Show me a woman who does not hide in the locket of bone that deep eye beam of fiercely gentle love she once had from her mother, daughter, sister, once like a warm moon that radiance aligned the tides of her blood into potent order. At the season of first fruits, we remember those women travelers, scavengers, co-conspirators, making do with leftovers and mill ends, whose friendship is stronger than fear, stronger than hunger, who walked together down death's dusty road, hands joined. Marge Pierce.
When I talked with Reverend Kathy about whether or not she would be able to do the service today, she finally decided that she couldn't. And so I had to come up with something rather quick. I have a file at home of sermons I've done here over the years, but there was one in particular that stuck out because it was a favorite of Jerry's wife, Sandi. So that is why I chose it, and that's why I'm using it today. Years and years ago, 1998 is when I last did this sermon. I was kind of blown away by the poem that Carla just read, the Marge Piercy poem. And after I read the poem, I said, well, I really don't have anything else to say because that poem says it all. However, given I find I can say something else. So let me begin. I'm first going to read from Scripture. The book of Ruth in the Hebrew Bible is only 5 pages long. It's one of the shortest texts there, but to me it's one of the most meaningful. In the days when the chieftains ruled, there was a famine in the land, and a man of Bethlehem in Judah, with his wife and 2 sons, went to reside in the country of Moab. The man's name was Elimelech, his wife's name was Naomi, and his 2 sons were named Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites of Bethlehem in Judah. They came to the country of Moab and remained there. Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. They married Moabite women, one named Orpah and the other Ruth, and they lived there about 10 years. Then those 2, Mahlon and Chilion, also died. So the woman was left without her 2 sons and without her husband. She started out with her daughters-in-law to return from the country of Moab. For in the country of Moab, she had heard that the Lord had taken note of his people and given them food. Accompanied by her 2 daughters-in-law, she left the place where she had been living, and they set out on the road back to the land of Judah. But Naomi said to her 2 daughters-in-law, "Turn back, each of you, to your mother's house. May the Lord deal kindly with you, as you have dealt with the dead and with me. May the Lord grant that each of you find security in the house of a husband." And she kissed them farewell. They broke into weeping and said to her, "No, we will return with you to your people." But Naomi replied, "Turn back, my daughters. Why should you go with me? Have I any more sons in my body who might be husbands for you? Turn back, my daughters, for I am too old to be married. Even if I thought there was hope for me, even if I was married tonight and I also bore sons, should you wait for them to grow up? Should you on their account debar yourselves from marriage? Oh no, my daughters, my lot is far more bitter than yours, for the hand of the Lord has struck out against me." They broke into weeping again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law farewell, but Ruth clung to her. So she said, "See, your sister-in-law has returned to her people and her gods. Go follow your sister-in-law." But Ruth replied, "Do not urge me to leave you, to turn back and not follow you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. Thus and more may the Lord do to me if anything but death parts me from you." The story of the beautiful friendship of Ruth and Naomi does not begin or end with the extraordinary words of Ruth to Naomi. There is much that came before, although it was not told by the narrator of the book of Ruth. In the Talmud, the rabbis fill in some of the gaps. That Elimelech, a man of some means, abandoned his people in Judah, that he chose not to abide with them. In this time of famine, in this time of need, he abandoned community, he abandoned Torah, he abandoned God. He journeyed instead with his family to the land of Moab, founded by the offspring of an incestuous union between Lot, Abraham's nephew, and his daughters. He journeyed to Moab, a land richer and more verdant than Judah during the time of famine, but a land which had refused aid to the Jews at a time of need. The story does not state that Elimelech's death, the death of his 2 sons, and the barrenness of their wives after 10 years are punishment for his sins, but the implications are strong. And Naomi, whose fate it has been to follow her husband into exile, to suffer his death, to endure and learn to accept the intermarriage of her sons to Moabite women, and then to be struck yet again by death when they die, is left a desolate remnant. And yet. During the 10-year sojourn, it seems obvious that a great friendship and a deep affection has been born between Naomi and her daughters-in-law. It was perhaps the simple intimacies of everyday life, the liturgy of the commonplace, that drew the 3 women together. We can imagine that Orpah and Ruth learned the ways of Naomi's people, and therefore the ways of their own husbands, the blessings, the prayers, the meal preparations, the offerings. They learned the ways of chesed, which is loving kindness, tzedak, which is generosity, and mitzvot, which is deeds that are pleasing in the eyes of God and therefore in the eyes of the community. We can see the 3 women in a mockery of all the mother-in-law jokes we have ever heard, in gentle laughter over household chores, performing small acts of kindness, chesed, for each other. We can see Orpah and Ruth consoling Naomi in the death of her husband, and we can hear Naomi offering words of encouragement to Orpah and Ruth in their continued frustration at not bearing children. This is all unwritten. None of these tender scenes find their way into the mere 85 verses that make up the book of Ruth, but we feel in our heart that they took place, that Orpah's reluctance and Ruth's refusal to leave Naomi cannot be explained in any other way. And so we come back to the crossroads and see 3 women standing in the dust of an ancient path. 2 of them are young, perhaps in their late 20s, and they stand facing the 3rd woman, older, with gray hair peering out from under her headscarf. Deep lines of sorrow have been etched into her forehead, and her shoulders and breasts sag with resignation. Her entire bearing signals sorrow and defeat. She reaches out to the younger women, embraces them, and then waves to them as she walks along the path, away from the green hills of Moab. The younger women run after her, each catching a bit of her skirt, and she stops. And we watch her as she gathers them before her and speaks to them of her emptiness, of her uselessness, of her despair. One of the young women has turned away and begins to walk into the green hills of Moab, slowly and resignedly at first, and then faster as she comes over a small rise and sees the village of her parents in the distance. And at the crossroads, the old woman, Naomi, faces the other young woman, Ruth, and her agitation slows and disappears as Ruth speaks her words of resolve and clasps Naomi's hands in hers. They look into each other's eyes for a long moment before starting on the path together, their shoulders nearly touching as they head north along the Salt Sea towards the plains of Jericho, where they will turn toward Bethlehem, their journey's end. 3 women, 3 choices. Orpah has chosen the path of the known, the path of safety. She has returned to her family, to her village, and we do not condemn her. Naomi chooses to return also. She has nowhere else to go, and home is the place where they have to take you in, isn't it? But Naomi's return, her teshuvah as it were, begins in defeat, in a denial of possibility. Job-like in her devastation, she will appear to her chorus of welcomers as a mere shadow of her former self, and she will rename herself Mara for the bitterness that has become her lot. Ruth knows that friendship, loyalty, and commitment all demand that we do not always do the easy or the expedient. She has the courage of the convert and the heart of a bodhisattva. She steps off, not into the unknown, but into the realm of possibility, the world that she will help create for her friend and mentor Naomi, now called Mara. Ruth will find the rents and tears in Naomi's life and fill them and bind them with her loving kindness and generosity. A story that begins in separation and exile will end with Ruth's eternal attachment to the destiny of Naomi's people, with her devotion to Naomi's fate as midwife to that destiny. When Naomi and Ruth enter Bethlehem and are greeted by the women in a city buzzing with the excitement of Naomi's return, we are astonished when Naomi speaks strongly of her bitterness, of her emptiness, of having nothing. Does she not remember Ruth patiently and quietly by her side? Does she not recall how Ruth helped her on the journey, how Ruth found their lodgings and meals and rubbed and anointed Naomi's tired feet? Does she not see that Ruth, like Abraham, the patriarch of Naomi's people, has left her own people, her old self behind for a new identity? And does she not see that whereas Abraham's journey was begun in response to God's command, Ruth's was undertaken out of love for Naomi? Does she not remember their alliance in exile, widowhood, and childlessness? Does she not see that Ruth completes her? And then we remember that Naomi has ceased to exist by everything that defined her, and that she, unlike Ruth, cannot conceive of a future, of a possibility. And we realize the irony that the God that Naomi repeatedly names as a source of her devastation, of her unbeing, is the God that Ruth is prepared to embrace. They have arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest, and Ruth continues to care for Naomi, offering to go into the fields to glean behind the harvesters, behind, quote, someone who may show me kindness. She had the good fortune to be gleaning in a field that belonged to Boaz, a relative of the unfortunate Elimelech. When he returned from town, he noticed the newcomer and asked after her, learning that she had come back from Moab with Naomi and that she was a tireless worker. He had been informed of her acts of loving kindness and generosity toward Naomi and took steps to see that she received special protection and attention and provision. May the Lord reward your deeds, he said. May you have a full recompense from the Lord, the God of Israel, under whose wings you have sought refuge. And Boaz did all he could to serve as a vehicle for that recompense. When Ruth returned to Naomi with the barley she had gleaned, and Naomi learned in whose field Ruth had been gleaning, she informed Ruth that Boaz was one of their redeeming kinsmen. Quote, the man is related to us. He is one of our redeeming kinsmen. The use of us and our could not have escaped Ruth's notice. And when Naomi says, it is best, daughter, for Ruth to stay in the fields of Boaz, where she is protected, we know that Naomi is on the road to recovery. That just as Boaz's protective wing has enabled Ruth to bring sustenance for Naomi's body, Ruth's protective wing has brought sustenance for Naomi's soul and heart. After the barley and wheat harvests are over, Naomi takes the initiative in seeking a home for her daughter, Ruth. And this from the book of Ruth. Now there is our kinsman Boaz, whose girls you were close to. He will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor tonight. So bathe, anoint yourself, dress up, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not disclose yourself to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place where he lies down and go over and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what you are to do. Ruth replied, I will do everything you tell me. She went down to the threshing floor and did as her mother-in-law had instructed her. Boaz ate and drank and in a cheerful mood went to lie down beside the grain pile. Then she went over stealthily and uncovered his feet and lay down. In the middle of the night, the man gave a start and pulled back. There was a woman lying at his feet. Who are you? He asked. And she replied, I am your handmaid, Ruth. Spread your robe over your handsmaid, for you are a redeeming kinsman. He exclaimed, be blessed of the Lord, daughter. Your latest deed of loyalty is greater than the first, in that you have not turned to younger men, whether poor or rich, And now, daughter, have no fear. I will do in your behalf whatever you ask, for all the elders of my town know what a fine woman you are. On first hearing, this request seems shocking, perhaps even a little bit salacious. Why is it that Naomi seems to be coaching her daughter-in-law in the art of seduction? Is she not betraying the memory of her son in soliciting this union? But a little study of so-called Levirate law, the laws governing marriage and property in ancient Israel, shows us that Naomi is being wise and prudent and extremely solicitous for the welfare of her friend and daughter, as she considers her. Naomi is beginning to take an interest in something outside herself, outside her own bitterness and emptiness. She is learning to risk again. She is answering the question, if I am only for myself, what am I? She is finding her way back to her God and her community again. She is fulfilling the dictates of Torah, hesed, loving kindness, and tzedak, generosity, and mitzvot, noble deeds. She is learning from the example of Ruth, as has Boaz, to extend herself. She is learning to recognize and return the love she has been given. She is learning to have the courage to be. Of course, there is a small hurdle of another redeeming kinsman who has first dibs, as it were, on a piece of property that had belonged to Elimelech and is now part of the redemption package. But this kinsman, while interested in the land, is not interested in acquiring Ruth. Boaz's claim is honored, and the people who witness the transaction bestow blessings upon Ruth, invoking Rachel and Leah and the house of Israel. So Boaz married Ruth. She became his wife, and he cohabited with her. The Lord let her conceive, and she bore a son. And the women said to Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, who has not withheld a redeemer from you today. May his name be perpetual in Israel. He will renew your life and sustain your old age, for he is born of your daughter-in-law, who loves you and is better to you than 7 sons." Naomi took the child and held it to her bosom. She became its foster mother, and the women neighbors gave him a name, saying, "A son is born to Naomi." They named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, father of David. In the mid-1990s, I was privileged to attend a lecture, actually a midrash, by Elie Wiesel on the book of Ruth. Of this lovely story, he said, "Mysterious and delicate, full of suspense, of anxiety too, this love story unfolds on a variety of levels, harmonizing relationships between man and woman, the individual and the community, the beginning and ultimate end of humanity, and yet the people of Israel, people already singed by destiny, hardly figures in it." Said Rabbi Zera, "This book contains no law related to purity or impurity, to the forbidden and the permitted, the sacred and the profane. It was written solely to teach us the rewards of generosity." And the book of Ruth teaches us so much more. Shows us that all love between an older man and younger woman, that not all love between an older man and a younger woman is debauchery. Ruth redeems the Moabites from their legacy of debauchery. The book of Ruth also teaches us that when we, in the words of Rabbi Ruth Stone, take steps toward God, God also moves towards us, although we may not always be aware of it. The book of Ruth celebrates the dignity, mutual devotion, and initiative of women in general, according to biblical scholar Jack Miles. Rabbi Ruth Stone also notes that the book of Ruth teaches us that to cleave to another means to risk hearing the commanding voice asking you to step forth on a path you would not ever have considered otherwise. The book of Ruth teaches us that every child born is a special gift of life to the grandparents who have entered the twilight of their own lives. The book of Ruth shows us that a story that is pastoral and not epic, erotic and woman-centered, not heroic or legalistic or male-centered, a story which expands our idea of community, can have a special place in the Hebrew Bible, in the world of literature, and in our hearts. The book of Ruth, a slender story of a mere 85 verses, offers the possibility of asking and answering so many questions. What happens when women stand at a crossroads? How do we learn what we need to be in the world? How can love guide us? How do the choices we make determine our fate? How do our responses to the hurdles thrown in our paths determine our character? How do we summon up the courage to surrender to the needs of another? How do we recover from loss? How do we remake ourselves in the face of forces marshaled against us? How do we learn to be patient and loving and kind and generous if no models present themselves? How do we learn to be what other people need? How do we learn to need what other people have to give to us? We have an example in Ruth. We can hear her story and take it into our heart. We can seek nourishment from her courage and resolve. We can follow the trail that she has blazed for us, a trail strewn with the riches of loving kindness, generosity, and noble deeds. We can redeem ourselves by trying. Thank you. What's next? Closing hymn, okay. Okay, please rise as you are able to join in singing the closing hymn, which is number 18 in the Great Hymnal, What Wondrous Love Is This?
What wondrous love is this, oh my soul, what wondrous love is this, oh my soul, what wondrous love is this, that brings my heart such bliss, and takes away the pain of my soul, and takes away the pain from my soul. When I was sinking down, sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down, sinking down. When I was sinking down beneath my sorrow's round, friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul, friends to me gathered round. Oh my soul, true love and true all friends, I will sing, I will sing. True love and true all friends, I will sing. True love and true all friends, through pain and sorrow mend. With thanks unto the end, I will sing, I will sing. With thanks unto the end, I will sing.
I invite you now, join me in reciting the words on the screen of your order service that accompany the extinguishing of the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. We carry our heart together again.
The benediction is by Susie Holbeck. There is a story of a teacher who tears to shreds a map of the world and, thinking it an impossible task, gives it to a recalcitrant student to put together. Within 10 minutes, the boy is back, the task completed. Astounded, the teacher asks him how he did it. The boy replies, "When I turned the pieces over, I found a torn-up man. I put him together. And when I looked at the other side, the world was made whole again." Now please join us in the parish hall for goodies and conversation.